do you want me to give you a list of the most famous real-world haunting locations? Oh, yes. Why wouldn't we want this? I'm just going to go ahead and put yes and see what happens. Oh, man. How about this? We're going to have to save this for later. Greetings and welcome back to Kili's AI Paranormal Research, and this is going to be our first episode of what I anticipate is going to be a few episodes on ghosts. And as always, we start off very simply, do ghosts exist? Now, I am very interested in what ChatGPT has to say about it, because when we started with vampires, we knew vampires don't exist, at least not in the Hollywood-like sense, and which is the same. But look at this. I think this is absolutely fascinating. It's telling us the short answer is there's no scientific evidence that ghosts exist. Throughout history, people in nearly every culture have reported encounters with spirits or supernatural beings. These accounts often come from folklore, religious traditions, or personal experiences. Ghost sightings tend to occur in emotionally charged contexts, such as grief, fear, or stress, and can often be explained by psychological environmental factors. Okay, it's not definitive. There is no definitive answer here. Very, very interesting. The fact that it says no scientific evidence leads us to believe that they cannot be proven to not exist. This is very, very interesting. All right. Let's see what else it has to say. So if there are no, it's telling us there's no scientific evidence that ghosts exist, I wonder what it thinks ghosts are. All right. Typically understood as the spirit or soul of a dead person that continues to exist after physical death, often thought to linger in the living world. How they are defined depends heavily on cultural, religious, or historical context. Another interesting definition. And of course, we see ghosts, I think, unlike vampires and unlike witches, they sort of translate between all religions relatively the same. An echo of someone who has passed on, or in some form. A folklore definition often portrays ghosts as shadows, apparitions, or echoes of the dead. They may haunt places and battlefields, houses, or people, often tied to unfinished business, violent death, or improper burial. Interesting. There's more. The parapsychological definition in paranormal studies, ghosts are often described as spirits, residual hauntings, poltergeists. Poltergeists are a little bit more, I don't know if I want to call them violent. I guess they would be obviously more violent than simple hauntings. Specific scientific interpretation. Okay, so we're going to get a little scientific here. Hallucinations caused by sleep paralysis, stress, or grief. Environmental effects such as mold, drafts, low frequency sound. Cognitive bias. Now that one to me is the most powerful of all of those three. Our brains try to find patterns in randomness, making us see or feel presences. Interesting. Okay. Wow. All right. I'm excited about this based on the simple fact that we do not have a definitive answer on whether or not ghosts exist. Let's try one more for this episode. Where are ghosts found? Where ghosts are said to be found depends a lot on cultural tradition, folklore, and personal reports. While science has never confirmed the existence of ghosts, people often associate them with certain locations, conditions, or emotional contexts. There it is again. Science has never confirmed the existence of ghosts, and on the flip side of that, you can then imply that science has never confirmed that ghosts do not exist. Haunted places, homes, and castles. Ghost stories involve old houses, castles, or inns where people once lived or died. The Tower of London. That's a very famous one. We may get to that. Battlefields, hospitals, asylums, prisons, graveyards. Cultural or religious beliefs. In Japan, ghosts, Yūrei, are believed to appear in places where people died violently or with unfinished businesses. Similar in Mexico. Western traditions, ghosts often haunt familiar environments tied to their life or death. Conditions where ghosts are reported. Now, here's one I like. At night or in darkness, people are more likely to misinterpret sensory input. Yes, I would think that, I don't know what percentage I would want to put on it, but most ghost sightings or purported ghost sightings are exactly that, a misinterpretation of sensory input. During grief or trauma also could influence how we perceive things late at night or at any point during the day, I suppose. In old or decaying buildings, again, draft, mold, creaking structures, eerie sensations, the settling of sedimentation, the settling of foundations, near water or infrasound-rich areas. Low frequency vibration from nature or machinery can make people feel watched or uneasy. All right, so let's see what the scientific take is here. From a scientific perspective, ghosts aren't found anywhere. Instead, reports of them are usually traced to environmental triggers, sounds, gases, light distortions, psychological states, stress, fatigue, cultural expectations. Yes. So ghosts are found wherever human imagination, memory, and environment combine to create a sense of presence. Yes, I believe that is probably a large percentage, maybe 80% or more of purported ghost sightings. I personally, with all of the paranormal, consider myself a skeptic in the sense that I don't know what I believe. One of the reasons I'm doing this research is to kind of see what I can find out, and we have a tool available to us that can evaluate data quickly. Do you want me to give you a list of the most famous real-world haunting locations? Oh, yes. Why wouldn't we want this? I'm just going to go ahead and put yes and see what happens. Oh, man. How about this? We're going to have to save this for later. I'm going to scroll through this a little bit more slowly. The Tower of London in England, said to be haunted by Anne Boleyn, Lady Jane Grey, and others executed there. The possible explanation, the tower's grim history primes visitors to expect hauntings. Sure. Gettysburg Battlefield, Pennsylvania. Man, there are videos all over YouTube about the Gettysburg battlefield. And man, oh man, I've been there and it is a very spooky place. But again, is that my own sensory perception influencing what I'm seeing or hearing? The Stanley Hotel, Colorado, USA. Inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining. The hotel's isolation and reputation set psychological expectations. Draft, creaky wood, and fluctuating electrical systems can explain noise and sensation. The Aokigahara Forest, known as the Suicide Forest. I've seen videos of this too. How could you not have your senses influenced by walking through that forest? Edinburgh Castle in Scotland. Reports of shadowy figures, a headless drummer, and prisoners' spirits. And again, I think the condition of the castle would influence this. Science views across all sites. Most hauntings share common factors. Infrasound, low vibrations, mold or toxins, drafts, acoustics, old structures, psychology. Yeah. Would I like a ranking of the most haunted places worldwide with their backstories? Or would you prefer a scientific breakdown of why ghost sightings often cluster? I kind of want to go with the scientific breakdown. Let's just go ahead and type that in. And let's find out what happens. I was intending this to be a bit of a shorter introductory episode, but we're getting some amazing stuff here. It's going to cost me a lot of B-roll. The role of expectation and suggestion. If a place is known to be haunted, an old castle, battlefield, asylum, visitors arrive primed to interpret normal events as supernatural. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. We pay attention to what fits our expectations and ignore what doesn't. Example, a creaky floorboard in modern office is old building noises, but in a castle dungeon, it becomes footsteps of the dead. Infrasound, low frequency vibrations. These sounds below human hearing are known to cause feelings of dread, nausea, or a sense of presence. Environmental toxins, mold, gas, chemicals, causing hallucinations. Carbon monoxide leaks have historically caused reports of ghosts, victims experiencing noises. Explains why many haunted houses produce sensations that vanish once the building is repaired. Lighting, shadows, and architecture, sure. These visual cues that lead us to believe walking into a clean office building does not bring the same sense of mystery and wonder, maybe even senses of fear and dread, that walking into an abandoned school or house might, or even a factory. Psychological triggers, grief and trauma, sleep paralysis. Yes, I've woken up sleepless nights and just really felt presences and didn't feel alone. And they're very distressing feelings. The tragic location effect. Sites that have strong emotional associations like death, suffering, violence. Humans project those emotions out to the environment, creating a sense of presence. Ghost sightings cluster in certain places, not because of spirits, but because of a mix of environmental factors, psychological states, and cultural storytelling. All right. This is great. I love this information. There's so much more to come with ghosts. I want to know so much more. And given the fact that, our artificial intelligence of any kind right now won't confirm that ghosts don't exist. They're going to take the scientific approach because that is what I asked for, a scientific approach, and will continue to ask for. All right. Not sure if you got what you wanted here, but you're telling me there's a chance. Until then, don't look under your bed.